ado about nothing. Hello. In front of Leonato's house are Leonato, Hero, and Beatrice. They are joined by a messenger.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
The victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing, in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars, or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedick of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedick too much, but he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath lopped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so. Indeed, he is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Sir Benedick and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1.
Oh.
Who is his companion now? He hath for a month a new sworn brother.
Is possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He has sooner caught the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. Oh God, help the noble Claudio. If he had caught the Benedick, it will cost him 1,000 pounds ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
Not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Don Pedro arrives as Don John, Claudio, Benedick, and Balthasar.
Good, Signor Leonato. You are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid costs, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedick, no, for then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedick. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you still living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedick? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
And courtesy is a turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood that I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than hear a man swear that he loves me.
God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scrape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot.
Well, a bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way, in God's name. I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedick, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer.
Don John, let me bid you welcome.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, at your grace, lead on.
We will go together.
Then they all go into the house, except for Benedict and Claudio.
Benedick, didst thou note on the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, faith, methinks she's too low for high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other but that as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, a case to put it into. But speak, you this with the sad brow. Come, in what key shall a man take you, to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that I ever looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her and is as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scare trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is come to this? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Faith, and thou wilt needs trust thy neck to a yoke, where the print of it and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio. I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now, that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion of that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all the women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die. Look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will yet again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedick bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign. Here you may see Benedick the married man.
In the meantime, good Signor Benedick, repair to Leonato's. Commend me to him and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit to you.
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedick.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly bastard on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience. And so I leave you.
Benedick goes inside the house, leaving Claudio and Don Pedro to talk about hero.
Liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it, but how? And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
My lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But not I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it. And I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then, after to her father I will break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
In a room in Leonato's house, Leonato and Antonio are talking about a rumor someone heard.
Oh, now, brother, where is my cousin, your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it. But, brother, I can tell you strange news that you dreamt not of.
Are they good?
Show well outward. The prince and Count Claudio were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Well, hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
Yeah, a good sharp fellow. I'll send for him, and you can question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter with all, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true. Go you and tell her of it. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. You go with me. I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care this busy time.
In a different room in Leonato's house, Don John and Conrade are conspiring.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou goest about to apply a moral medicine to mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have a stomach and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself, it is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I'd had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better furs my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man, it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage, and if my mouth I would bite, if I had my liberty, I would do my liking in the meantime. Let me be that I am, and seek no altar to me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? Oh, what news, Borachio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquaintness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? Which way looks he?
Marry on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
I overheard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overflow if I can cross him any way. I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Then let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were of my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
In a hall of Leonato's house, Leonato, Antonio, Hero, Beatrice, and other people prep before the masked ball.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. One is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, ever more tattling.
Then half Signor Benedick's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle. Oh, and money enough in his purse. Such a man would win any woman in the world, if it could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God sending that way, for it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just, if he send me no husband, for the which blessing, I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
Well, you may light on a husband that hath no beard.
And what shall I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me. He that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore, I will take 6 pence in earnest of the bear ward and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then go you into hell?
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. There's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there we live as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God makes some men of some other metal than earth. No, uncle, all none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly, I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin. If you be not wooed in good time, if the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a cinque pace. First sweet is hot and hasty, like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly, modest, as a measure full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls in the cinque pace faster and faster until he sinks into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
Oh, the revelers are entering, brother. Make good room.
Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedick, Balthasar, John, Borachio, Margaret, Ursula, and others come into the hall for the party. Everyone has the masks on now.
Eddie, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walked softly and looked sweetly and say nothing? I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I must say so when I please.
Speak low, if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better the hearers may cry amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk has answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
A word, I am not.
I know you by the wagging of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dirty hand up and down. You are he. You are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come. Do you think I do not know you? By your excellent wits, can virtue hide itself? Go to mom, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you tell me who you are.
Not now.
That I was disdainful and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Senior Benedick that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester. Very dull fool, only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them. And then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. But he'll break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure, not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. Oh, we must follow the leaders.
They all dance. But off to the side, Borachio and Don John start talking to Claudio.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and faith withdrawn her father to break with him about it.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedick?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Borachio and Don John leave Claudio feeling quite crummy.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedick. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so, the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not.
Benedict comes to find Claudio.
Count Claudio?
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck, like an ursur's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? For you must wear it one way, for the prince hath got you hero.
I wish and joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest trovier. So they sell bullocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you, leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll be to the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Claudio leaves angry.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now he will creep into cedars. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool. Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am married. Yea, but so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter, disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
My lord, I think I told him true that your grace had got the goodwill of his young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Well, they'll make a trust a transgression. The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might be bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen the bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing, and restore them to the owner.
If they're singing, answer your saying by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poignards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. Come, talk not of her. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So, indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follow her.
Look, here she comes.
Claudio, Beatrice, Hero, and Leonato joined Don Pedro and Benedict.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you could devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest ends of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great Sham's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
None, but to desire your good company.
Oh, good sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Benedict just decides to leave instead of just talking to Beatrice.
Come, lady, come, you have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it to me a while ago, and I gave him use for it, a double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore, your grace, you may well say I have lost it.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count. Civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
My faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I broke with her father, and his good will obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy, if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or, if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him speak neither.
Oh, in faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord. I thank it, the poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord for alliance. And thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace now a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech you, your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried, and then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon.
Beatrice leaves a bit embarrassed.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamed of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
Oh, she cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
Oh, she were an excellent wife for Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my lord. If they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Oh. Now, Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love has all its rights.
Oh, not till Monday, my dear son, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come. You shake the head, it's so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go on dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedick and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you all will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero.
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
Oh, and Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedick. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedick that in spite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me and I will tell you my drift.
In a hall in Leonato's house, Don John and Borachio make a plan.
Is it so the Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato?
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How can those cross this marriage?
That no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember. And what life is in that? To be the death of this marriage?
Angel, your audio is out.
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such as one as Hero.
And what proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. They will scarcely believe it without trial. Offer them instances, which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me court her privately, hear me call Margaret Hero, and bring them to see this very night before the intended wedding. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Row this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
The next day, Benedick's in the orchard.
Boy,
Set.
in my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me.
I'm already here.
I know, but I would have thee hence and here again. I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now he'd rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see good armor, and now he will lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never yet make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll ne'er cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it please, God. Ha! The prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonato are here.
Come. Shall we hear the music?
Yeah, my good lord. How still the morning is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See where Benedick hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord.
Balthasar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
I pray thee sing, and let me woo no more.
Because of you talk of wooing, I will sing.
Now, divine air! Now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheep's guts should hail souls out of men's bodies?
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceived as ever. One foot in sea and one on shore. To one thing constant never. And sigh not so, but let them go and be blithe and bonny. Converting all sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The thought of men was ever so, since sound the first was levied. So, but let them go and be blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny, into hey, nonny, nonny, into hey, nonny, nonny, into hey.
My troth, a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
No, no, faith, thou singest well enough for a shift.
And had he been a dog that would have howled thus, they would have hanged him.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthasar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music for tomorrow night.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedick?
Oh, aye. Stock on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, not I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedick, whom she hath in all outward behaviors ever seemed to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh, God! Counterfeit! There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Well, why? What effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well. This fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you... you heard my daughter tell you how.
How? How, pray you? Oh, you amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I should think this is a gull, but that Leonato speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the affection. Hold it up.
Has she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him.
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
That.
When she had writ it and was reading it o'er, she found Benedick and Beatrice between the sheet. Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her.
Oh, then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her ear, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedick, God give me patience.
She doth indeed. My daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself.
For good that Benedick knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
Oh, and he should. It were an alms to hang him. Oh, she's an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous. And exceedingly wise in everything but loving Benedick.
I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. Yeah, I pray you, tell Benedick of it and hear what it will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die, if he her lover not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make a tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you all know, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
Well, he does show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedick and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Oh, nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. You let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? The dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
But there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. Let us send her to call him to dinner.
No.
Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonato run off laughing.
This can be no trick. Conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. They say, too, that she would rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it, and wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I might chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message.
Yea, so much as you may take upon a knife's point. You have no stomach, Signor? Fare you well.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity on her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool. I will go get her picture.
In Leonato's garden, Hero, Margaret, and Ursula are scheming.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal where she can hide her to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I'll warn you presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay.
Beatrice creeps in the garden to spy on Hero and Ursula.
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new-trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Does not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate cut vilely. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives truth and virtue, that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sights, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks.
Oh! Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No? Rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill work may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day, tomorrow. Come, go in, I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel, which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's mine, I warrant you. We have got her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by halves. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Hera and Ursula run off giggling, leaving Beatrice alone in the garden.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell. Maiden pride, adieu. For no glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up into a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve. And I believe it better than reportingly.
In a street nearby, Dogberry and Verges, weird names, talk with the watchman about their job.
Are you good men and true?
Yeah, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation in soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their change, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
George Seagull, sir, for they can read and write.
Come hither, neighbor Seagull. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is a gift of fortune, but write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Master's Constable?
You have, I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. For your reading and writing, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You're thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
Alfie will not stand.
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True. And they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then? Let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think those that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you must stay him.
Nay, by Our Lady, that I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on it. With any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry not without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought not to offend no man. And it is an offence to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it is so.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of wake chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all go to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors, I pray you. Watch about Signor Leonato's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there's a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Dogberry and Verges exit while the 2 watchmen get cozy. Later that day, in a room in Leonato's house, Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedick, and Leonato talk about the wedding and comment on Benedick's new look.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I towards Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I have hope he be in love.
There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. He be sad, he wants money.
I have a toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for a toothache?
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he who has it.
Have any men seen him at the barber's?
No. But the barber's man hath been seen with him.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by the loss of a beard.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
To paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him.
Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant, one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upward.
Yet this is no charm for the toothache. Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice. And then the two bears will not bits on one another when they meet.
This is when Don John comes in with really upsetting news.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good evening, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak concerns of him.
Well, what's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow.
You know he does.
I know not that. When he know what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better than at me, by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath holp effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of the lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal.
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse, think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant go, but with me tonight you shall see her chamber window entered even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But if it would be better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so.
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I should wed. There will I shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Claudio and Don Pedro leave upset, but Don John doesn't seem that sad. Later, in the street nearby, Borachio and Conrade get chatty and are overheard by the watchman.
Conrade! Conrade!
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would be a scab, fellow.
I loathe an answer for that. And now forward with thy tale.
Standing close then, under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, master, yet stand close.
Therefore know how I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou should ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. But know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman by the name of Hero. He leans out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times, good night, good night. Oh, I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and my master Don John saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio, but the devil my master knew she was Margaret. And partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio enraged, swore that he would meet her, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in Prince's name, stand.
Up, Master Constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known on the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. Where's Locke?
Masters.
Bring me defamed forth, I warrant you.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We are likely to prove a goodly commodity being taken up of these men's bills.
Commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Dun, dun. Borachio and Conrade are taken away by the watch. 10-minute intermission. The next day, in Hero's apartment, Hero, Margaret, and Ursula are prepping for the wedding.
But Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well?
Troth, I think your other Roberto were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, not so good, and I'll warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. If the hair were a thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion of faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troths, but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts, laced with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on it.
Oh, God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceedingly heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art thou not ashamed?
What, lady, of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? If bad thinking do not rest true speaking, I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else. Here she comes.
Beatrice joins them. She's not looking her best.
Good morrow, coz.
Oh, good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am all out of other tune, methinks.
Lapse into light of love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it.
'Tis almost 12 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. Oh, by my troth, I am exceedingly ill. Hey, ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
What means this? What means the fool, trow?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves, the Count sent me. They're an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit becomes me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. Oh, by my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Dare thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus. Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. May, by'r lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think, if it would think my heart out of thinking, that you can be in love. Yet Benedick was such another, and now he has become a man, and he swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes, as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw the prince, the Count Signor Benedict, Don Johnson, and all the countess of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
In another room in Leonato's house, Leonato is approached by Dogberry and Verges.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
A brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Goodman Verges, sir, speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God help I would desire they were. But in faith, honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man and honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, neighbor Verges. Pleases your worship to say, but if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, 10 couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
Good old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age goes in, the wit is out. God help us. It is a world to see. Well said, faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of horse, 1 must ride behind. An honest soul of faith, sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffigance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Very well.
The messenger enters to get Leonato.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I'm ready.
Leonato and the messenger leave for the wedding.
Go, good partner, get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the goal. We are now to examination these men.
We must do it wisely.
Oh, we will spare for no wit, I warrant ye.
In the church, Don Pedro, Don John, Leonato, Friar Francis, Claudio, Benedict, Hero, and Beatrice all settle in for the wedding.
Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterward.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
Well, to be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count. If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, Count?
I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now, interjections?
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and constrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you in your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity...
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato. I never tempted her with no word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee, seeming. I will write against it. You seem to me as Dian in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This does not look like a nuptial.
True, oh God.
Leonato, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face, heroes, are our eyes shown?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move on one question to your daughter. And by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truthfully.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can, hero. Hero itself can blot out hero's virtue. What man was he talked with yesternight? Out at your window betwixt 12 and 1. Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry. You must hear, upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for they much misgovernment.
Oh, hero, what a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure in piety and impious purity. For thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjure hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm. And never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
This is when hero faints.
How now, cousin? Wherefore you sink down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle. Hero, why, hero? Senior Benedick, Friar.
Oh, fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
Oh no, cousin hero.
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero, do not ope thine eyes. Grieved I had but one. Chid I for that in frugal nature's frame. One, oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why wast thou lovely in mine eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smirched thus and mired with infamy might have said, no part of it is mine. The shame derives from unknown loins, but mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I'm attired in wonder. I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although until last night, I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed! Confirmed! Oh, that is stronger maid, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie? And Claudio lie, who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her! Let her die!
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start in her face, and 1,000 innocent shames and angel whiteness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors of those princes' hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it.
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more than any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the charge of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
Two of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toll in fame of villainies.
No, not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not so yet dried up this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me so much of friends, but they shall find a weight in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability in means and choice of friends to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monument, hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
She's dying, and it so must be maintained. Upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have, we prize not to the worth while we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession would not show us whilst it was ours. So it will fare with Claudio. When he shall hear that she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life into the eye and prospect of his soul than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn. If ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you, and though you know my inwardness in love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal with this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Friar Francis, Hero, and Leonato leave Benedict and Beatrice alone in the church.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I have no desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way. No such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is that not strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were possible for me to say I loved nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor deny anything. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Oh, why then, God forgive me.
Oh, what offense, sweet Beatrice.
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I love you.
Do it with all my heart.
I love you so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the whole wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We will be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man, what bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated render. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
I'd talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
The princes and counties surely attest princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. Now, he is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand and so leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go. Comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
In a prison, Dogberry, Verges, the sexton, and the watch interrogate Conrade and Borachio.
Is our whole dissembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the male factors?
Marry, that am I and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, marry, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Borachio.
Pray, write that down, Borachio. Yours, Sirrah.
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrade.
Oh, write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Nay, sir. We hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah. A word in your ear. I say to you, it is thought that you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are now? That they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, marry, that's the ephest way. Let the watch come forth, masters. I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Ha! Why, that is flat perjury to call a prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
Pretty fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, that he had received 1,000 ducats from John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary, as ever was committed.
What else, fellow?
By my mass it is.
Ah, yes. What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of the sudden died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands.
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not respect my ears? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But, masters, remember that I am an ass, though it be not written down. Yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina, and one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been ripped down an ass.
In front of Leonato's house, Leonato and Antonio are talking about what to do.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself. And 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee cease thy counsel. It falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give me not counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, patch grief with proverbs, make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
There do men from children nothing differ.
I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there never was yet the philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently.
Bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me that Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here comes the prince and Claudio, hastily.
Good day. Good day.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords. Hear you.
We have some
my lord?
haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all's one.
Do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand. If it should give your age such cause of fear, in faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy.
Thine, Claudio. Thine, I say.
You say not right.
You say not right, old man.
No, my lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare.
Away, I will not have do with you.
Oh, canst thou so gaff me? Thou hast killed my child! If thou killst me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and men indeed, but that's no matter. Let him kill one first, win me, and wear me, let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, Sir Boy, come, follow me. Sir Boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am a gentleman, I will.
Brother.
Content yourself. God knows I love my niece, and she is dead. Slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Brother Antony.
Hold you content. What, man? I know them. Yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go speak, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all.
Gentlemen, both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come, brother, away. I will be heard.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
The man they want to see is Benedict, who just conveniently entered the room.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part of fray.
I'd like to have our two noses snapped off with two old men without teeth.
Leonato and his brother. What thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wilt.
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels. Draw, to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you shall charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
By this light, he changes more and more. I think he'd be angry indeed.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have a good cheer.
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. Wit. True. She said she a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, says she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That, I believe, said she. For he swareth, there's 2 tongues. Yet at last she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
My lord, for your many courtesies I that you, I must continue your company. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I'll warn you, for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
He is then a giant ape. He's then a giant in ape, rather, sorry. But then is an ape a doctor to such a man?
But soft to you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Dogberry, Verges, and the Watch are bringing in Conrade and Borachio.
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? 2 of my brother's men bound? Borachio one.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderers. 6th and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee, what have they done? Thirdly, I ask thee, what's their offense? 6th and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth, there is one meaning well suited. Whoever you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer. This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What is your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What you wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John your brother incensed me to slander the lady Hero, how you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee onto this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
And fled he is upon this
and fled he upon this villainy.
sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Leonato, Antonio, and Sexton entered to see the man who confessed.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look upon me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to a penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me.
Tomorrow, then, I will expect your coming. Tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. Examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God, save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself, for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret, how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Benedict and Margaret are having a quiet conversation in Leonato's garden.
Pray thee, Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it, for in most comely truth thou deserves it.
To have no man come cover me, why shall I always keep low stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth. It catches.
And you're as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit it but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret, it will not hurt a woman. And so I pray thee call Beatrice, I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. Leander, the good swimmer, Troilus, the first employer of panders, and a whole bookful of these quadnum carpet mongers, whose names he had run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady, but baby, an innocent rhyme, for scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, but stay till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul word, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul word is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I shall depart unkissed.
Thou hast frightened the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear for him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my best parts didst thou fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil, that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Oh, alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. There I will leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudia mightily abused, and Don John is the author of it all, who is filed and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thine eye, and moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Don Pedro and Claudio are upset in a church.
Done, what was it? Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death in guerdon of her wrongs gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now unto thy bones good night, yearly I will do this right.
Good morrow, master. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Farewell.
Good morrow. Masters, each his several way.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's we will go.
And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds, and than this for whom we rendered up this well. Good Claudio, good morrow, Claudio, we must go. Leonato waits upon us both.
In a room in Leonato's house, Leonato, Antonio, Benedick, Margaret, Ursula, Friar Francis, and Hero are all gathered.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being ousted by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither, masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To bind me or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth is, good Signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio, and the prince, but what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical, but for my will is your good will may stand with ours, this day to be conjoined in a state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind.
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
Hero, Beatrice, Margaret, and Ursula all enter wearing veils.
Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why, then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see her face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero!
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live, and surely as I live, I'm a maid.
Former hero. Hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify.
Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
I know. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Well then, my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter, then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Oh, come, cousin. I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her, for here's a paper written in his hand, halting a sonnet of his pure brain fashioned to Beatrice.
Oh, and here's another, written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day, I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace, I will stop your mouth.
Benedick kisses Beatrice.
How dost thou, Benedick, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince, a college of wit crackers cannot flout me out of my humor. In brief, since I do propose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied, Beatrice, that I might have cudgeled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer.
Come, come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
No, we'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife, get thee a wife.
The messenger goes off to find everyone.
My lord, your brother John is ta'en in flight and brought back with armed men to Messina.
Think not of him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers.
They dance for a bit. And that's the end. Bye.